those materials which are of type prime product. So have you gone through it? I mean, were you able to see whether what are the settings maintained for that?
So I think the as I think last time, Arvind, like I was asking, uh, see, like there was no checkbox in the neutralization, but still sales order was confirming.
I said you right. So basically, if you want to ensure that this is happening with the CTP, where you want to ensure about the PPDS for the product availability something as such, then this will be really impacting you because the MID account to the MID it is going to take the further decision because we have seen right like see first availability check karo uske baad do the production. So that all
Correct.
you are trying to do. So so availability how your basic methods are going to play a vital role. So if you want to really influence them, so obviously you will be taking care of them. So as you have some third party system, might be your MAD is again dependent on those planned orders which were generated by the third party system if I'm not wrong. Am I right?
Yes.
So that could be the reason behind, but still not to make it as a conclusion. So we will, as I said, you like what are the different ATP categories, something which are the other, we have still a few more parameters which to be checked. So that will really give you a detailed information. Okay, like how are we trying to conform against the orders. So as I said, you like whether the third party intervention happens, so there may be some more value addition. Which they may be added, which they might have added. So even that we have to check up. So however, the next processes will help you to understand. Fine.
Yeah.
Yes. So you purely basically use CTP, right?
No, CTP purely based on CTP. Sorry, could not get you.
I'm asking you in your whole process you use G8 only CTP methodology or you also use any combination of other methodologies also?
So I saw like the like product allocation and the basic method combination as well as rule based.
Rule based is also there. So wonderful man, no problem at all. So I will tell you how does it happens. Rule based I will tell you. So it is one of the most interesting topic which we will discuss. Uh, okay, good, good.
And Arvind, just want to know, like I was reading in one Google. So
Mm-hmm.
in the sales order, the ATP check, uh, it was written like at the time of ATP check for sales order, in the
Mm-hmm.
real time strategy, sorry, the requirement class with requirement type with the requirement class transfer to the ATP in case of only ATP check. So requirement class would come real time and business event is already there. So on the basis of check
This
instruction
combination,
instruction get determined. But
exactly.
other processes requirement class does not transfer in real time. So it goes through by the like strategy group or the MRP group like that in the path. So is it true like or no?
So that is what the same we have seen, right? So whenever in my item level, when I'm giving a material, obviously for a material, what are the strategy was maintained. So in strategy, let us say 40 was maintained. So for a 40, you have a requirement class as 50, which is the same one which is moving as a requirement class as check mode, right? That is what we have discussed, right?
Yeah, so you mean to say like still it means like at the time of sales order, ATP runs in sales order creation or after sales order creation,
Mm-hmm.
um, it still goes to the metal master and take out the requirement class or and transfer in real time. So
So
uh,
yes, yes. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Yes.
yeah, so but what is the difference like in the real time? Because material is already there, we know the material, means system know
Hmm.
the material and material is already in the ATP. Then
Yes.
why it is needed to transfer the requirement class in real time for the sales order?
Okay, so I'll tell you there is a small concept called change pointers which I will tell you about. So let me know if I'm able to see the APO screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're able to see a notepad.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will tell you a small concept which is it is a purely technical concept. This is called as change pointers. So basically, uh, we might have not discussed about the concept of CIF, that is core interface. So uh, I will be showing you in the Saturday session. You will be having the complete detailed information about what is setup, what are the configuration setup you need to go for CIF, and what are the advantages of it. So the basic purpose of CIF is basically about the connectivity. It's an interface between ECC and APO where hold the transactional and also the master data flows. Okay, so whenever you are trying to see like how does the process happen is what I'm trying to say you. So how does the CIF help us in our process of ATP? So basically the CIF consists of something called as integration models. Are you aware of the CIF?
Yeah.
Yes, right. So this integration model, they lie as the path for the movement of data from ECC to APO. Okay,
Okay.
right. So as you were asking me, like whenever the data has to flow, the first most prerequisite which an ACC system when the transfer of requirement should happen. Let us say that your material like MRP type is there as X naught. All those things are there. Okay, all those master data which is important are still there. So integration model it will try to move on. Integration model whether it is there, it should have at least one integration model active which is for especially for ATP check. In ATP check, in this ATP check, how does the basically what does the ATP check if I'm going to show you like in the ATP check you can see is the material which is going to flow. It is not only the details of material at the same time. What is the requirement class does it has? Because the check mode, as we have seen, right? Like there can be multiple check modes, so I can have multiple check modes. So to be there, so I may have multiple business events. So obviously, I may be having a system where I may be using more than one GATP methodology. So for me, might be for one business process, I want to use BOP backorder processing. Might be for another business process, I want to use rule-based ATP, and for might be for another business process, I want to use uh, CTP, capable to promise. So basically, all the methodologies we need not be used. So only depending on a very complexity of the whole process, we may go for it. But why are we trying to do this? To understand about this. So I have said you right. Like if you remember about the example of the car, where I see basically my still the car is my final product. So I can use my car as the product where I want to ensure about the functionality of the manufacturing everything as such. So maybe CTP is being used for me, but for the value addition something as such, I may be using multi-level ATP, ML ATP. Okay, hope you got
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So when I have to ensure that these two functionalities have to work, so obviously I cannot expect all the configuration to be done at a single stretch. So what I have to do is like I have to ensure different check modes are available so that all the combinations so that different check instructions can be set out by me to ensure these methodologies can be used. Am I right?
Yeah.
So basically, whenever the material is picked up, so obviously not only just the material, only by the name and itself, at the same time the requirement class which was there will also be transferred with your integration model so that it can be able to choose the relevant check instruction which suits the combination of this business event and also the requirement class, that is the check mode. Hope you got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, whenever the integration model doesn't exist, so as the material type was maintained as X naught, it gives you it gives you an error like where it cannot be confirmed because it doesn't know how to plan. But if let us say if it is not type of X naught, that is like internal planning, then whatever the way how you would like to see like might be what is the stock which is there. So basically the ATP method which is there will be working there as a default ATP method available to promise. So that is a basic ATP method. So that will be working as a basic ATP method and it will try to see if the is in stock. Hope you got me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So even if you want to customize this still further, I have said you about the ATP method in the basic method also. For the business event, I have said you about the requirement class, uh, uh, where you can actually try to customize your ATP check also. Hope you remember
Cus- yes, yes, yes,
how to apply the constraints for the ATP, and I said you like these settings will be more important if you are trying to do your ATP at a ECC level, but at the APO level, however, we have at a check instruction, we have the control. So I said you about it. Hope you remember.
yes, yes, yes,
Yes. So is your question answered?
yes. And Arvind, there is one more setting like MRP type. Sorry, metal type and MRP type is assigned to the requirement class. This also play role at the time of requirement class transfer.
Yeah. So basically, not only X not type MRP, sometimes for especially the complexity of some other type of materials will also makes like the different types of MRP types will also be moved to APO. So it is not like a highly used methodology, but still sometimes not only XNOT but left of the other methodologies will also be used. As I said, you remember, right? Like why or XNOT is trying to be more impactful. How does XNOT means the system have will understand that setting I have said you. Hope you
Yes,
remember, right? Yes, right.
yes,
But
yes, yes.
sometimes, like if you still want to emphasize that this even this type of data has to, like when let me say like let us say like MRP type ND bulk I have maintained a few materials. Even I want to send those materials to APO, let us say. So my using my integration model, I will try to do it. So it is like pushing those data forcefully, but still I can still do it. I can still do it. So in those scenarios, if you want to ensure that the MRP type is not going to impact your ATP in those type only, then you will be getting this significant role of the setting. So because I have sent a combination of X naught and ND. Okay. So but my materials which are to be planned in X naught, only they have to play a vital role in the APO. So X naught and the combination of the ATP which is used in, so those materials which whose ATP I'm trying to look out in APO, only those materials should play an influence in the APO, not in the ND, because if I'm going to try for ND material and see its ATP, obviously it will be a big mistake for me because I really don't have the enough knowledge about what is the stock of this or what is the procedure I have to maintain, because how I have to plan for this material I have planned in ECC, am I right? So maybe when
Yes,
I'm trying to plan for this material, like I'm trying to see about get some confirmation, the MAD for this type of material, obviously I may not be able to achieve it using my what are the strategy I'm going to try with my in my APO, because I have maintained the planning for this material in ECC. So at that point of time, if I want to ensure my ATP check which is going to happen has to be synchronized, then I will be using the X0 MRP type also to be integrated. So it's just an other way when when I'm trying to plan not only MRP type as X0 but also the other material MRP types other than X0, when I'm trying to plan them in the APO in those scenarios, how can I ensure my ATP check to be there? In that scenarios, you will be using that step. Hope you got me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let me go back to this. So again, coming back to the same question which you have asked me, that is, does it really has to check with the requirement class every time which is maintained in ECC? So as we know that basically whenever the material which is created once, which is transferred to APO as a product, that you are aware, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, whenever there are changes in specific to a material, these changes are populated using change pointers. So this is a purely a technical point. What is a change pointer? So what is a pointer? You have any idea? What are pointers?
What? Okay. So like a description change like that, some
No,
description
no,
change.
no, no. What you know the concept of what is a pointers?
No.
Okay. Though I'm still moving to a more technical. Let me know if you have got messed up somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was really good question for you. Might be that would be helpful for you to understand about in detail about how does the change happens. Let me know once you're able to see a, a Word document open for you.
Yes.
Yes, right. Okay. So this is a concept of pointers. Like how does actually. So APO it actually has the two databases I said you hope you remember. One is called as live cache and another one is a classical database. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yes, right. So in a database, basically, when you're trying to, I'm saying in a purely if you're going in depth into the technical aspect. So how does actually the data is being pointed out? So basically, when the data is going to move, or when the system is trying to save the data, actually,
Live cache means the in-memory data like that is read available immediately.
yes,
Like
yes, exactly, exactly, yes. So basically, whenever you're trying to, let us say like I'm speaking in specific to SAP classical database that is SAP DB. Max DB I said you if you remember.
yeah.
Yes, right. So we are speaking about the change pointers. So whenever you are trying to store the data, so that you know, right, like basically it will be trying to store the data in this data buckets. So it can be, uh, so let us say like you have maintained some material A. So all the related data about this material A will be stored in the database. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically whenever there are a few changes which happen against this material, so it can be like let us say to find out our example to be more relevant, let us say like you have changed the basic units of measure of the particular basically for laptops you used to maintain it as cages, like how many cages does the whole product lies about, but now you thought like instead of those I want to maintain it as eaches. Okay, so it is a material that is a master change, right? So obviously when you're trying to do any changes, so the system will create a change pointer, so that change pointer will reflect or it will be trying to map to that database where it has created. So whether it is in the ECC or whether it is in APO, so because the data will be will be moving from ECC to APO within the for any master changes, right? So any changes to this master data, it will be creating a change pointer. That is the one which will try to which gives an information to the system that the database that there are some changes which has to be updated. That is what the purpose of a change pointer is. So this change pointer will be updated onto the database for the with the what are the changes which you have done. So might be in the in the material A which was created by you. So you might have changed the units of measure from kg to inches. Okay, this is what the change you have done. So the same will be updated onto the database. So this is so for the material A, whatever the data allocation which was maintained, so that will be again updated with what are the changes you have done. So that will be stored in the database. Fair enough. So why are we trying to understand about this concept is, so this change pointer will actually provocate the database to understand that there was some changes done against this material which has to be updated. Fair enough. But in masters, especially when you're trying to do this same process here, not only this material which is there in the database, this is ECC database, let us say. So not only this, at the same time, even the APO master APO should also be populated, right? Because for this material A, you have maintained as X0 type, let us say. So APO is also trying to plan. So obviously the change of this, anything changes to this master data should also be updated to APO also. Am I right?
Yes.
So for this updation of the same for APO also, the same change pointers will be helpful for the system. So so if you have an active integration model, this change pointers will also be moving from ECC to APO to update the database of APO also. You got me?
Yeah.
So these are like active change pointers. So this change pointer for this change pointers, we will be to transfer of this change pointers. You basically should have a active integration model. The first important rule. So when we are trying to discuss about the integration models, we will be having some thumb rules which I will be speaking about them. So for this point of time, you have to understand that this change pointers will be updated using your integration model. So once you have done some changes to this, if there is some relevant settings which are going to be changed, for example, let us say like you have changed the check mode, or let us say like you have changed the strategy group, that is what in the ECC we are saying. So even that change will be updated. So at that point of time, it is going to see the what was the one which was maintained earlier, and it is going to change it. Yeah, you got me right.
Yes, yes. So, Arvind, like this,
So
the database you are showing right hand side, that is the normal database, correct? Or there is a separate
yes.
table. There is a separate table that store previous and new value.
Yeah, obviously in table you will be able to see it. So at the product level also, there's a T code where if you want to see the changes what were done, you will be able to see it. That will be there.
Yes.
But that is not our concern. That is not our concern. I will be, if you want, I will say you about it. There is something called as prod read bulk T code, where you can actually see what were the changes, what was the earlier it was maintained, what has it been changed to, that you will see able to see. That is not our concern. I'm saying is about whenever there is some changes in the master data. So basically, whenever there is changes in the master data, how it is updated. At the same time, you are saying about it is going to, whether it is going to check every time what is the strategy group which was maintained. So until unless it is a change, it can be still actually directly referred to the product itself, because in the product master itself, you know, it has already has its check mode which is defined for it. Am I right?
Yep.
So obviously, when the material is still consistently there, it need not go and see like pura strategy kya hai wo sab, it need not go and check in the ECC level itself. Once it is going to APO, already it knows that the material is actually planned in APO, so it will, if only the request can be moved to APO. However, in APO you will have your check mode. From there itself, it can pick it and it can go and see the what are the check instruction which is maintained. You got me?
Yes, yes.
So even if let us say like I have done some changes, and again I'm trying to do the ATP, even then how does it happen? So जब भी मैं material change किया और उसके बाद immediately within a few seconds I have done some order creation against that material, but even then it will be actively doing, because this change pointer will ensure that those changes are going to be updated into APO.
Okay.
You got
So,
me?
yeah. So, any changes or certain field changes?
No, no, no. Very good question, Jalaj. So only master data changes which are there, only those will be reflected by the change pointers, but not all the changes. So master data क्या है हमको? जैसे we have a resource, that is work centers, we have products, that is materials. For this type of changes you will be expecting, but sale order changes something as such will not be impacting. उसीलिए if you remember last time when I was saying you about CTP, change in my sale order quantity or date, if they have to be impacted, I have maintained a separate setting for it. If you do you remember, चेंज ऑफ रिसिप्ट एलिमेंट्स बोल के एक में एक चेक बॉक्स था इन प्रोडक्शन, दैट इज द फॉर CTP सेटिंग वी हैव मेंटेन्ड a check box. Do you remember? Creation of new receipt elements.
Yes. Yeah, I think yes. Yeah.
Okay, so because this changes if it was for, if, because of transactional data जो भी है like sale order creation है, production order या planned order कुछ भी changes हुआ, if you have done some changes, if they have to populate it, they will not be populated in the same fashion with using the change pointers. Only masters जो है which are like very important, right? That is the reason why change pointers concept can be used but not for all. So it is only useful for the changes that are done at the master level. Even if you have done the changes in the BOM and routing, and if you are trying to update, if you think that it is system is going to update by itself, no, it will not happen. Actually, we have to update it manually, or you
Okay.
can still do a schedule a background job, however, but it will not updated directly. Change pointers are only applicable for the masters, like material master changes at the same time the resource changes also. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And for the CTP, you were just telling me that the setting was in the check instruction, correct?
Yes, exactly. I will
Yeah.
show you.
Last attempt.
Yeah. Recreate receipt elements. If change pointers concept hai to receipt elements it would have changed automatically, right? If it was for transactional data also. You got me?
Yeah. So if I check this checkbox, then you said like
No,
the bomb.
I said you like no. Actually, I have took this to this point was because like to make you understand that it is only applicable for master data but not for transactional data. Change pointers का जो concept है, it is only applicable for master data but not for transactional data. So all the receipt elements, everything which you are speaking about, those are all like they come still under the transactional data, right? Because the production orders, what are the production orders which are there,